I subscribed to ITZY's Yeji, Ryujin, Chaeryeong, and Yuna's bubbles until LIA came back. What's it like subscribing to OT4 ITZY's bubbles for that long? And if you can only choose one ITZY member to choose from to subscribe to, who should you choose? But wait, OT5 ITZY has been back. What are you talking about, OT4? In words of ITZY Iroha, SDOP stop! Let me talk.
Stop, SDOP.
So far on the channel, we covered NMIXX, TWICE, Stray Kids, and CHAEYREONG's bubbles. And now we're getting to my current alt group, ITZY. This is undoubtedly the biggest bubble challenge that I have recorded to date, because normally I just subscribe to an idol group's bubble and record their activity for about a month or so, and that's it. However, with ITZY's bubbles, there's no specific number of months I aim to subscribe for, because it's all dependent on the return of our beloved LIA. And guess what, y'all? She's back! So for this challenge, on the second LIA comes back to Bubble, we will add her bubble into the mix. I'll continue recording their numbers for 2 months throughout their gold and imaginary friend promotion period, and report my full OT5 findings in addition to OT4. Hence why this video is only coming out now when you're seeing it. You know the 3 ground rules by now. Rule number 1, a bubble message includes all text, photos, and videos sent by the artist. That means if Ryujin sends 2 texts, 3 selfies, and 1 video, each counts as a message totaling out to 6 messages altogether. Rule number 2, all bubble messages are tracked throughout the day on my time, which is 5:30 AM to 10 PM. Any messages that come in between 10:01 PM to 5:29 AM will be counted for the following day. And lastly, rule number 3, to conduct all of my counts, I log into Bubble once at 9:50 PM to tally up all message numbers at the same time. All of ITZY's bubble messages aren't to be open and read until 9:50 PM in the evening. For those of you guys that aren't familiar, I dubbed this rule the Seolyoon clause because Seolyoon of NMIXX is the reason this rule exists in the first place. This is a precautionary measure. While yes, it dampens my experience with Bubble, it helps preserve the most integrity for this challenge. Some disclaimers, of course, and what's become a motto of SYJOfficial, please remember that all of the idols that you subscribe to are humans. These amazingly talented human beings lead some of the most busiest and most complicated lives. As K-pop taught us in more ways than one in 2024, we never truly know our idols. They're touring, they're prepping for comebacks, they're promoting on music shows, or even spending time away from the idol life on vacation, or well-deserved breaks, or personal activities that, for us as fans, are none of our business. Some idols don't use Bubble all that often, or some are more introverted than others, or some just have a distaste for social platforms altogether. No matter how many messages sent or not sent, please remember that your favorite K-pop idols are humans too. Secondly, please remember that there really is no perfect time to subscribe to an idol's bubble, let alone do this challenge in the first place. Look friends, I can never predict an idol schedule perfectly. Sure, there's tour dates, there's comeback schedules, there's other event dates that are public knowledge, right? But for the schedules that aren't public knowledge, I can't account for that. If I wait for the perfect time to subscribe to them, these videos will never be made. But for those of you that disagree, that's why I conducted this challenge for nearly half of 2024. This will account for as many different scenarios as possible, from touring to comeback preps to rest days to filmings to fan meets, all of it. That way this proves the challenge of, oh, you just did it at the wrong time. Haha, I can't do it at the wrong time if I'm doing it all the time, right? That sounded a lot better in my mind. Thirdly, we'll be using our results from the NMIXX, TWICE, Stray Kids, and CHAEYREONG videos as light comparisons throughout this whole video. Remember friends, what have we learned in this series so far? Is that comparison does not equal hate. Comparison equals tool to help you understand. We now have 4 groups to help you better visualize the bubble experience. And we can finally add ITZY to the SYJOfficial Bubble Hall of Fame. And lastly, can we cut the music real quick? Thanks. This bubble video means more to me than you will ever know. ITZY means more to me than you will ever know. And this is the primary reason why this video took so long to get to you in the first place. Because I wanted to be sure that my portrayal of ITZY's bubbles and my deep, personal connection with ITZY does them justice. I'm going to be touching on some pretty heavy topics throughout this video, so if you feel the need that you need to take a pause or take a break at any point in the video, just please feel free to do so. Please do what you need to do. And just to give you a proper heads up, I'm going to be having this Lily quadruped somewhere on the screen, okay? From June 9th to August 31st, 2024, I subscribed to all OT4 ITZY's bubbles, kept track of all messages each member sends per day, and entered them into a Google Sheet. Then, when LIA came back on September 1st, 2024, I immediately subscribed the literal second her bubble came back live and repeated the exact same process through October 31st. But why June 9th as the start? Because June 8th was when we actually got to see ITZY at their Born to Be tour at their Oakland, California stop specifically. Getting second row VIP seats to your alt group changes you, man. Also, we chose to subscribe to ITZY's bubbles throughout the rest of their Born to Be World Tour 2024, their prep period and promotional period for Gold and Imaginary Friend, and their third fan meeting, Midzy's Cells. That way, we can really see if subscribing to a group while they're touring, while they're promoting, and everything in between actually affects their bubble activity or not, but this time from a big four group. You can subscribe to one member of ITZY for $3.99 per month. But if you want to subscribe to all 5 members of ITZY at the same time, you can do so for a discounted $15.99 per month. For the OT4 portion of the challenge, I did the 3-ticket $9.99 per month option since I already had Yeji's bubble. Then when LIA came back, I swapped those subscriptions for the full 5-ticket $15.99 option and still hold that subscription to this day. That's right, friends, even when I stop recording these message counts, I don't unsubscribe. I keep that subscription, that way I can learn more about their bubbles at a more leisurely pace and without the Solyun clause in effect. You know what they say, the bigger the bubble roster, the fatter the wallet, am I right? Right, gamers? You gotta wail harder, bro! Please help me. I'll go in reverse fan chant order, but LIA's bubble is going to be the finale. Just saying that now. But it's finally time, everyone. Let's see what it's like to subscribe to ITZY's bubbles until LIA came back.
I'm so hungry. 어떡해.
Shoot, dude, I'm getting emotional already just thinking about Yuna's bubble. Like, dude, we haven't even started yet. Get it together, man. ITZY's beloved maknae, Yuna. I have so many good things to say about her. As always, let's get the numbers out of the way first. Throughout the entire 5-month challenge, Yuna sent a total of 1,206 messages. That's 197 in June, 246 in July, 186 in August, 267 in September, and 307 in October. This averages Yuna to roughly 8.3 messages per day, with these as her averages from each month. On any given day, Yuna can message 1 to 69 messages. I'm sorry. I'm a child. And from June to October 2024, Yuna missed 76 out of the 145 days of the challenge, with these many days missed per month. Right off the bat, Yuna already has one of the lower scores attendance-wise for ITZY. I mean, 76 out of the 145 days? That's already more than half of the challenge, lest I say a fourth of the year. But honestly, after doing bubble challenges for this long now, I learned not to speculate too deep as to why an idol chooses not to use bubble all that much. I can never give a sure answer because I don't know their lives, and we don't have to. All I can say is if they use it, how often they use it, and give a light, innocent guess with the numbers in mind. Instead of speculating, ask yourself, what makes Yuna's bubble actually worth it? The reason why I teared up a little bit at the sheer mention of Yuna's bubble is because of her messages centering around words of affirmation and words of endearment. In fact, this is a consistent theme for all 5 ITZY members. Think of messages like, "You did a great job today," or "You worked hard today, you deserve to rest up well." For Yuna specifically, her words of endearment come in the form of long, reflective, heartfelt messages. Like Momo from Twice or Hyejin from Craxy, Yuna tends to message in longer blocks of text compared to the other ITZY members. And when you see those giant blocks of text, you know it's going to be something straight from the heart. So I'm going to read some of Yuna's translated text here, and she also tends to @ everyone a lot in Bubble, so I'm just going to replace these @ everyone's with Midzy's, okay? So just for context, we apparently passed ITZY's 2000th day anniversary during the Bubble challenge, right? Wait till you see this. You know, meeting Midzy is a big gift in life. Thank you so much for coming to me, and it's great to be with you. When I think about Midzy, everything gets better no matter what the situation is or how I feel. I'll try hard to keep being next to Midzy. Congratulations on the 2000th day, and I hope you continue to be next to me as well. And if that message wasn't enough, this message is after ITZY's fan meet when LIA came back. I don't know exactly what kind of situation each Midzy is in and what kind of thoughts they have with ITZY, but when we're together, I'm so thankful that it's such a relationship. As we're back as a whole group, I wanted to show you a good performance. Maybe that's why I felt so burdened. How would they all watch it? I had lots of thoughts, but during the camera rehearsal, Mitzy's fan chants actually came through my in-ear. I was very relieved at that time. It was a moment when I became more dependent on Mitzy as I wasted time worrying and being anxious. The time we spent doing our best for 4 weeks is so precious to me. I'll never forget it. Thank you so much for always shining by my side, and I was happy because of Mitzy. Will you continue to be with us? It's getting cold, so don't catch a cold and think about me. Let's spend the rest of the year warm together. I love you. How can a singular person write so beautifully? The way Yuna writes is just unlike any other artist I've ever seen before. Yuna just has unimaginable amounts of love to give. Like, I'm struggling to find the words to help paint the picture for you all. You don't need to hear it from me. If you're looking for a bubble of someone full of heart, someone who genuinely connects with fans, and a quality over quantity interaction, Yuna is your girl. Sure, Yuna doesn't use Bubble as frequently as the others, but when she does, boy does she know how to make your heart flutter. That's in addition to all the selfies that she sends. Like, look at her, she's beautiful. Like, how can your heart not skip a few beats here? But more than that, Yuna's gratitude, her love, and her poetic language is just as, if not more beautiful. She gives more than the standard run-of-the-mill idol small talk. She's sentimental, she gives you the time of day, and even if it's hard to tell if she's Mitzy's maknae sometimes, it shows in her bubble. Not that she's immature in any way, the opposite actually, but considering everything she's been through and she's still able to wear her heart on her sleeve bravely like it's all that she has to give, speaks volumes to how emotionally mature she is. Yuna is more than a 4th gen it girl. She is more than just a pretty visual, and absolutely not a pick-me as online discourse wrongfully claims. She is a grown and beautiful individual who matured through the ugliest side of this industry and chooses to show love over hate every time. You know, until Chaeryeong beats her at a bottle cap flicking games.
Yuna is angry. Yuna is very angry.
예전이야 조금 더 커. 너는 얘가 계속 167이래요. 근데 제가 166이거든요. 아니야. 7이래 자꾸. 우리는. 근데 내가 봐도 그래. 너가 167이면 내가 164야. 후반대 느낌이 없어.
If you guys saw our ITZY Born to Be World Tour vlog, you guys know that I have a rather soft spot for Chaeryeong. Yes, I am sure that she isn't my bias in ITZY. Look fam, in my tenure as a MIDZY citizen, I have pretty much cycled through all 5 ITZY members at least once as my bias, okay? Let's cycle through her numbers now, shall we? Chaeryeong sent a total of 1,804 messages. That's 131 in June, 227 in July, 363 in August, 565 in September, and 518 in October. This brings her daily average from the 145 days of the challenge to roughly 12.4 messages per day, with these as her averages from each month. On any given day, Chaeryeong can message anywhere from 1 to 59 messages. And from June to October 2024, Chaeryeong missed 11 out of the 145 days of the challenge, with these being her absences from each month. I mean, wow, talk about a drastic shift in attendance. Chaeryeong actually ties for first in attendance with one other member that we'll get to shortly. I mean, 11 days missed out of the 145 with perfect attendance in September and October during comeback and fan meet season? Like, that just deserves some applause. That deserves some applause right there. Everyone get up from your seats. Now, Chaeryeong's bubble is pretty similar to Yuna's, where she would message longer than the typical one-sentence reply. In fact, a large bulk of Chaeryeong's messages are just straight-up conversations with MIDZYs. Chaeryeong is the ITZY member that direct replies to MIDZYs the most, if not one of the most. I feel like most of Chaeryeong's conversations are dictated by whatever the fans send her after she logs in. She can talk about food, practicing, dancing, skincare, impulse purchases, literally anything you can think of that MIDZYs could possibly bring up. Chaeryeong probably has a direct reply about it. And also, this may just be Chaeryeong's personality or the Chaeryeong stans that are on her bubble actively, but she tends to scold us a lot. Some MIDZYs in Chaeryeong's bubble send pretty random stuff like, does Chaeryeong offer financial therapy? Chaeryeong sees this and she straight up says, eh? What's that? Can't you do that on your own? Or when one Mizzy said, I woke up because you messaged me, Chaeryeong. Chaeryeong was like, no, 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 put your phone down, don't disturb mode, turn it on now, go, go, go. It's really giving, Chaeryeong, can I be your dog? No! However, this doesn't discredit Chaeryeong's softer side. I remember a few months ago, one Midzi was going through anxious thoughts and couldn't sleep because of it. And then Chaeryeong direct replies to this person saying, wow, I also have a few moments where I sometimes just lie in bed and suffer like that. At times, you just feel like a freshly caught mackerel. You're flapping your hands and you're out of breath. I tried laughing into a pillow like a crazy person. It's gonna be hard, but it's also a way to try not to think about anything as much as possible and just sleep. Chaeryeong has a lot of moments like these actually, where she relates to Midzis who are going through tough times, and replies in the most Chaeryeong fashion possible. This is one of the best things about Chaeryeong's bubble, even if this strays into the IYKYK territory. She's sincere in her own Chaeryeong way and has a lot on her mind that she puts in message form. As one of the most frequent bubble users in ITZY, Chaeryeong combines message quality with attentiveness. Next to one other member, Chaeryeong's bubble is the one that I will recommend to all K-pop fans who want real quality and want their idol to show up and make it count. You'll be happy with Chaeryeong no matter what kind of bubble user you are. Heck, even if you don't have an ITZY bias or can't choose, Chaeryeong is a fantastic option who'll give you the full bubble experience. Voice clips, direct replies, these pictures. The only thing that Chaeryeong's bubble's missing is Bubble Live, which instead she simply tells her bubble subscribers that she's gonna go live on Instagram like the other ITZY members, where you can get iconic lives like this. I only have good things to say about Chaeryeong's bubble. What can I say other than this, huh? I lovely Chaeryeong! Aside from Lia's bubble and Bangchan from Stray Kids' bubbles, I feel that Ryujin's bubble might be the third most anticipated for you all. And I don't blame you, it's Shinryu. It's Ryu. It's Shinryu. Oh, sorry. It's Shin Ryujin. Look, I know Ryujin is for the girls, okay? But girls, who wouldn't be absolutely smitten by her? I have my For the Girls license right here, man. Just have some empathy. Ah, yes, ITZY's Resident T and Resident iPad Kid. And I'll get this right off the bat. Ryujin doesn't use bubble on a regular basis.
Because, Jype, you haven't given me your Kakao Talk.
In fact, her bubble attendance actually reminds me a lot of NMIX's Jiwoo and all of Twice because of it. But you know what? This is fine. If it's anything that this bubble challenge taught us, is that idols are actually really busy people. Plus, her social battery is easily drained and has the very high-profile job of being the Shin Ryujin. So because of this, she spends her free time recharging, sleeping, and catching up on her dramas, the usual Shin Ryujin antics. Of course she's not gonna be on bubble a lot. How would you feel if you had that many dramas to catch up on? Would you be spending your free time on bubble? I don't think so. But let's get her numbers down first. God, I wish I had her number down. Shoot, dude. Ryujin sent a total of 770 messages. That's, 31 in June, 131 in July, 207 in August, 178 in September, and 223 in October, bringing her average to roughly 5.3 messages per day through the 145 days of the challenge, marking these as her averages per day for each month. On any given day, Ryujin can send anywhere between 2 to 34 messages, and from June to October 2024, Ryujin missed a total of, 79 out of the 145 days of the challenge. You see what I mean? Like, missing almost half of the month for the 5 months of the challenge. Doesn't this slightly remind you of a certain somebody who hates vegetables from a group called NMIX? Doesn't she just not remind you of Jiwoo? Shoot, dude, it's a pretty deep cut right there. I wonder if anyone's gonna get that reference. If not, I'm gonna look like a complete total jerk when I really just want to make people laugh with the continuity of the vlogs of the channel. Please don't cancel me. This is an inside joke from the Enser community. It's just a joke. This is just a joke. joke from legal reasons. This is just a joke. Please don't cancel me. Please laugh. Vegetables, temple, prostrations. What is Ryujin's bubble like when she does use it? Well, Ryujin's pretty blunt and straightforward when it comes to her messages. The weather's nice today. It's gotten a lot colder. Should I wear a padded jacket? The average idol small talk right here. There are a few moments where Ryujin gets a bit too blunt though. It's almost comical. A few weeks ago, she was talking about how the weather's getting colder now that it's winter, right? She says, "You're eating well, right? Even if you get fat. It's a time when you wear thick clothes." I know Ryujin, but hey! A fun quirk though, Ryujin actually has a tendency of marking on her bubble when she's done messaging for the day. She would send a full line of these candy emojis after saying, "I'll come back soon," or "going to practice now." And honestly, I don't particularly know what this means. Like, my sister tells me it's something like, "Oh, here's some candy for the road," but we can't really say for sure, so Ryujin stands. If you happen to know, let us know in the comment section down below. All I know is that when Ryujin is done with Bubble, she'll leave a small trail of candy and you won't see her come back for a while, leaving you wanting her more. I mean, wanting to see her more. Like, gosh! She might not use Bubble every day, but this just actually adds to her charm. Like when I reported Mina from Twice doesn't use Bubble in their video, and y'all said that's the least surprising thing I've heard about Mina. But in terms of her messages, you can guarantee that her personality radiates like Godzilla. It could be completely normal messages, then other times very, very odd, but very, very Ryujin. She'll send your typical selfies, maybe a short video of food, and of course, her infamous memes. Remember the Grinch? One fun thing about Ryujin's bubble is that she tends, or at least it seems like, she tag teams with Yeji. Meaning when Yeji sends a message, Ryujin will send a message not too shortly after that, and they'll just keep alternating like that. One last funny thing about Ryujin's bubble is that if you ever wonder, Ryujin hasn't logged into Bubble for a while. Sometimes, if you think about Ryujin hard enough, maybe she'll log in and start messaging. She's like Beetlejuice, like if you say her name 3 times, maybe she'll start logging in and break her absence streak. Like Shin Ryujin, 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 Shin Ryujin. Nope, it didn't happen. Nope. Nope. But for those of you on the flip side of the coin, why doesn't Ryujin use Bubble a lot? Like I said with Yuna, we can't say for sure. But knowing Ryujin's personality though, it's not really all that surprising. We know her as this cool, lax, and easygoing gal. She does things when she wants to, and if she doesn't want to do it, she won't do it. But this may be a first in Bubble Challenge history, but her absences from Bubble actually add to her charm. It's almost the same feeling as Bangchan from Stray Kids, where he doesn't log in as frequently because he's cooking albums. Except with Ryujin, the only thing she's heating up are her feet in her blankets because she's just getting cozy in bed, ready to catch up on her K-dramas, and weirdly enough, that's fine. Sometimes Ryujin would even recommend those dramas to you for all of you K-drama junkies. Y'all said the same thing about Mina from Twice and her absences to me, and that it just makes the next time they log in all the more special. Speaking of special though, when Ryujin sends her words of affirmation to Mitzi, it honestly feels more special considering how she doesn't message that often. Thank you for liking this album and supporting us. Thank you for putting so much love into the letters we receive every week, and thank you for worrying about us, saying it wasn't cold even in the cold weather. I want to say I look forward to your kind cooperation. I'll always hope for Mitzi's happiness and health. Rest assured though, Ryujin stans can rest easily at the end of the day, knowing that her bubble is still worth subscribing to. Especially because her bubble aligns so close with her personality. Not avoidant or neglectful at all, but reserved and wise where she uses her social energy.
Attention please.
And now it's time for my ultimate bias, Hwang Yeji. Sorry you guys had to figure out about this way, but I have a new ultimate bias. Longtime viewers of the channel know that my ultimate bias of all time is Jihyo from Twice. However, the time has finally come. She has been dethroned. Leader for leader, main vocal for lead vocal, Jigglypuff for Light Fury, my ultimate bias is Hwang Yeji. By the end of her segment, you'll know exactly why and how Yeji became my definitive ultimate bias. Now let's see how ITZY's beloved leader fares. Yeji sent a grand total of 4,166 messages. That's 402 in June, 750 in July, 810 in August, 856 in September, and 1,348 in October. This brings her average to a stunning 28.7 messages per day, with these as her averages for each month respectively. And on any given day, Yeji can message anywhere from 4 to 96 messages. And from June to October 2024, Yeji, like Chaeryeong, missed only 11 days of the challenge. With Yeji's higher message count over Chaeryeong breaking the tie, this solidifies Yeji as the most active bubble user for ITZY. To further add on to this, I've actually been subscribed to Yeji for the longest amount of days compared to all of ITZY, and I can actually open up Bubble right now. I've actually been subscribed to Yeji's Bubble for up to 761 days as of this day of recording. Yeji uses Bubble pretty much every single day. While she never fails to say, "You worked hard today," and "fighting for today," she would have full-on direct reply sessions for days on end. One noteworthy factor of Yeji's Bubble is that she holds real conversations with midzies on Bubble. In fact, most of her Bubble sessions are a few normal messages from her in the first half, then direct replies for the last half. There is never a dull day with Yeji on Bubble. Yeji's messages can range anywhere in the lines of, "Midzi, I'm proud of you, you worked so hard today," to, "Yeah, Midzi, I told you not to do that." Chaeryeong may scold us more than Yeji, but that doesn't mean Yeji doesn't scold us. One day, Midzi somehow made Yeji type the lyrics to Mr. Vampire in the chat, right? And you know how the lyrics are, "Bite me, bite you, boom, boom." So the Yeji, instinctively, she would reply, "Boom, boom." Well, someone in the chat said, "Bite me, by an hyphen?" And Yeji straight up just says, in the coldest leader nim Yeji manner, "No, ITZY." And ooh, imagine being that midzi on the receiving end of Yeji's leader nim sternness, like, sorry, Kenny, let's put you down here. Yes, Miss Hwang. Now, one of the most popular questions on this Bubble series is it actually them? Are we sure we're not just talking to a chatbot or an AI? And to these comments, I've always been replying with, all signs point to yes, but never a definitive yes. Well, friends, with Yeji's Bubble, we're actually one step closer for that definitive yes. It's December 2024 when I'm recording this video, and you're probably seeing this in the new year, so it's Christmas time. Some midsies in Yeji's Bubble were requesting her to sing Christmas carols in voice clips. And boy, my ultimate bias did not disappoint, because she sent multiple voice clips immediately afterwards of her singing all the requests from midsies, from Korean versions of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Last Christmas, and Jingle Bells. Even though AI has already evolved to the point where full-on AI covers of K-pop songs covered by other artists can be made now, this is just further proof that it's actually the idol behind the Bubble and not just some AI or advanced chatbot. I'm probably underestimating AI here, but I just find it very hard to believe that a chatbot could have fabricated a vocal clip like this with Yeji's voice so fast when replying to fans. You can be rest assured that when you subscribe to any K-pop idol on Bubble, it's actually them, the real human being. It's 100% authentic Yeji behind that black heart emoji. And to further add on to this, Yeji actually went on live recently and addressed the authenticity of her Bubble messages. You remember when I said how she would never fail to say, "Have a great day," or "You worked hard today" at the end of every single day she's on Bubble? Well, she actually expressed on live that people might think that by her doing this every single day makes her seem disingenuous or not truly conveying her emotions. But she reassured everyone that everything that she says on Bubble is sincere and has gained strength from us midsies on Bubble too. And speaking of authentic, hey, can we cut the music real quick, please? Thank you. With all of my bias aside, I truly believe that Yeji's Bubble is the best Bubble that I've ever subscribed to out of all of the idols I've subscribed to thus far. And the reason why, and why Yeji is my ultimate bias now, is because Yeji saved my life. A few years ago, I hit one of the greatest depressions in my whole life. I was at an immensely stressful transitionary period at work and had a rather Cold War-like fallout with someone who broke my heart so much to the point where I actively sought therapy and coaching. On top of that, my best friend and I were starting to drift apart faster than desired, and the channel wasn't doing very well, and both my parents' and grandparents' health were beginning to deteriorate, and I lost both of my dogs within a year of each other. You know how I've had these two pillows in the background for all of my videos for the past couple of years? Yeah. I was quite frankly dealing with imposter syndrome, modern dating culture, workplace-induced existential dread, and loss of cherished life all at the same time. And it got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. I didn't have the strength to hold on to hope anymore. I was tired of fighting for myself or even believing that I was worth fighting for anymore, or even if tomorrow was even worth fighting for. Thankfully, as my friends in the psychology field would say, did you have a plan? And no, my mind was way too exhausted to even think of coming up with a plan. Thank God. I didn't want to fight anymore. I didn't want to prove myself anymore. I just wanted to fade into obscurity. But one fateful day, I felt a buzz at my side. I picked up my phone and I see that black heart. It was Yeji. I kept my phone down because I just wanted to dissociate, but my phone just wouldn't stop vibrating. Yeji was messaging a storm as if to say, like, no, don't do it. I opened up her messages and I read and translated every single message. Like, every single message that she was sending was pulling me back from the brink, closer to the ground. And what really did it for me, what really made me just burst into tears, was this Yeji hug video. Yeji is known for hugging the camera and pretending like it's us, kind of like how Bangchen does it, but Yeji's just feel so different and so warm. I unfortunately no longer have access to the original Yeji hug video that saved my life because Bubble had this weird update where it cleared all of my previous message history, and we didn't have the hour box feature until relatively recently, so I don't have it anymore, sadly. But Yeji's hug video saved my life. I just laid in bed and I played that video as many times as I needed to, and I just cried. I could feel the fuzzy material of her long sleeves around my neck and shoulders. Imagine her hair against my cheek and my head resting over her burdened shoulders, like the embrace of the one you're in love with. With Yeji's words of encouragement and her hugs, she brought me back into reality. And it's because of her I chose to continue living with a kinder, youthful, and playful heart. One filled with optimism and love for humanity and care for the human condition. Call it the ultimate parasocialism, but without that parasocialism, I wouldn't be here. Everyone has their reasons for why their ultimate bias is their ultimate bias. Yeji is my ultimate bias because she saved my life with her love for ITZY. Look, I know it's not directed to me solely. I haven't let my delusions take full control of me yet. But seeing the love and care and concern Yeji has for us, it's honestly so heartwarming and endearing. Like Chaeryeong's ASMR messages, Yuna's long paragraphs, and Ryujin's, appearances, the tenderness Yeji has for us is something I deeply admire her for. To have that much love for thousands of us who she doesn't even know. To send videos of herself hugging the camera in spite of some third parties observing, be like, what is she doing? And on top of that, Yeji's attentiveness is so, how she would say, attractive to me. Like this moment from KCON 2023 that I caught when they were setting up for their high touch. While the staff were putting up the plexiglass barricade, Yeji just stood there and looked lovingly at all the ITZYs in the crowd, like a watchful eye to the ones that she loves. You feel the Yeji leader in him vibes with her, right? But you also feel her unmatched tenderness, her love, and her concern for ITZYs. This beautiful woman right here saved my life, and she doesn't even know how. With all of my bias aside, Yeji's bubble is worth it. With all of my bias right here front and center, if I could only subscribe to one K-pop idol's bubble for the rest of my life, Yeji is the one that I'm choosing. I mean, how could I not? I owe her so much for bringing hope and happiness back to my life, for bringing optimism and a kinder outlook on life back into mine. There's this one clip from ITZY in Paris where Yeji rides a plane for the first time, and when she gets back to the ground, she starts crying. And you know what she says? "I didn't know the world was so beautiful." And since watching that, something in me changed. I fell even harder for her, and I knew she was more than just a bias to me. Yeji, I doubt you will ever see this video, but thank you for saving my life. Thank you for being you, or at least as much of you as you can be with the idol persona, the idol image, and the public eye on you at all times. By you being you, you pulled me from the depths of my hopelessness and brought hope back into my life. You are more than my favorite member. You are more than my ultimate bias. Just the thought that I live in the same world at the same time as you do brings so much joy and so much light into my life. And the chance that I can see you amaze thousands of others in all the years to come, it just gives me something to look forward to, makes me think of what else I can tell you. Your smile, your cute little chuckle when you see something you like, it just makes me feel so warm inside. Seeing your eyes light up around your members makes mine fill up with appreciation for you. Unlike others, I won't call you perfect because, well, you're human. You have flaws too that my eyes refuses to believe are such. Instead, I will call you my light, my ultimate bias, my inspiration, my role model, my type. There's so many things you are to me, but Hwang Yeji, the name of the person that saved my life, that's what you are to me.
Boom, boom. 아니, fight me, fight you. Boom, boom.
Now, baby midsies, baby K-pop stans, this is where I want all of you to start paying attention if you weren't already. A big reason why this video took so long to get out to you in the first place is because I wanted to do all of ITZY's Bubble experiences, especially LIA's, justice. But during the ITZY OT4 Born to Be era, this was apparently some midsies' first introduction to ITZY, and in turn, don't know who this beautiful human being is. So, my duty, not only as a midsy, but a K-pop stan whose life was drastically affected by ITZY, it is my job to use this platform that I have to set the record straight. This is LIA. Some call her jisu, some call her Strawberry LIA. Her members sometimes refer to her as Princess. Some fanboys out there call her the nation's pride in the face of JYP.
와! 대한민국의 자랑! JYP의 얼굴! 최지수! 최지수 화이팅!
LIA is ITZY's beloved fifth member, who some new stans, to no fault of their own, don't know who she is because they got into ITZY during this OT4 Born to Be era. Not only is she ITZY's main vocalist, not only is she the second oldest member that Yuna looks up to so dearly, she is ITZY's sunshine. She lights up a room instantly with her laugh and that beautiful smile of hers. What I said about Yeji earlier is probably what LIA is to all of ITZY. And even if it's not the baby midsies' faults, it hurts to know that their first experience with ITZY is an experience without her. But now, moving forward, all of their new precious memories with ITZY will be with all 5 members, as it should be. Now, with LIA's Bubble experience, I had no idea what it could possibly be like. I was essentially blind to what LIA's Bubble had to offer. Was she more reserved like the Twice members? Or was she a spammer and third seat to Mount Seolyun? Well, let's back up a bit. Okay, let's back up to the point where we couldn't even subscribe to LIA's Bubble in the first place. When I started this challenge in June 2024, when you go into ITZY's Bubble menu, there was always a coming soon LIA section. There was no 5-ticket option because they suspended LIA's Bubble when she began her hiatus. The 4-ticket option was the highest tier available. You couldn't even opt for a 5-ticket option even if you wanted to. But fast forward to September 1st for me and September 2nd for Korea, the 5-ticket option for ITZY and LIA's Bubble finally became available to us once again. And this is where the challenge truly began for me. On her first day back, She messages a total of 70 messages, easily out-messaging all of the other ITZY members for that day. I highly believe this was mainly catching up on Bubble and LIA relearning how to use Bubble again. LIA sent a total of 922 messages in the 2 months I recorded her messages for. This was 436 messages in September and 486 in October. This averages her to 14.5 and 15.7 messages per day, respectively. And on any given day, LIA can message anywhere from 30 to 70 messages. And from June to October 2024, LIA missed 7 days in September and 8 days in October, or 15 out of the 61 days she participated in. Without getting too deep in the weeds, LIA is just as conversational, if not more conversational than all of the ITZY members. She had instances of, whoa, you could do polls on Bubble now? Or, wow, I didn't know you could reply directly to individual messages now. The next half of the month, oh boy, I think we're just filled with midzys telling her how much they missed her. Because she was direct replying to us a lot with long paragraphs, especially before and after the ITZY fan meet, her first activity back from her hiatus. Thank you, Midzy. I am a very happy person after the fan meet. I fell asleep thinking I'm a happy person because I have good friends, precious members, warm Midzy, family members who stand by me, Bella who loves me, and good managers and people around me. It was so nice to meet Midzy after a long time at today's event. In fact, every fan signing event is a challenge to hold back tears these days. I'm not crying because I'm sad. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm happy to see you after a long time, and I'm also thankful and sorry to the Midzy who waited there. I also got emotional because I saw Midzy holding back tears while talking to me. We must have missed each other a lot for a while, but thank you for trusting and waiting for us. I always thank you so much, and I love you. On top of this, LIA is very honest and very in touch with her emotions on Bubble as well. I was actually so worried about the fan meeting. It was my first performance in such a long time, and honestly, I was a little scared, pressured, and nervous. But at the same time, I was excited and looking forward to meeting Midzy. I wondered if I could repay you as much as Midzy took care of me to do well, but I'll do my best. I missed you so much. I'll see you later. ITZY, especially LIA, has such an authentic, such a warm relationship with Midzys, unlike I've ever seen before in a fandom to artist relationship. And despite LIA being away from Midzy for such a long time, she never lost sight of that. LIA is open, honest, yet loving and chill. The way she interacts with Midzy is very her. It's weird. There's no easy way I can explain her interaction style except picture like you're talking to Lily right here, right? Picture how you'd think a conversation with a chill, collected, and easygoing kitten sloth would go with so much love to give. She can be a little slow at times and may not know everything you're talking about, but you have her full attentiveness and interest regardless. And lastly, Bella videos! For those of you who don't know, LIA is a pom mom, and this is her little white Pomeranian, Bella. If it's one thing I can guarantee about LIA's Bubble, is that you can count on her to send Bella pictures and videos. And apparently Bella has all of the small twinsies at her little bedside, her little doggy bed. I mean, just look at her carrying the two all back to her bed and organizing them all by herself. It just makes my inner pom dad come out and say, "Yay, Bella, you did it, yay!" So LIA's Bubble, is it worth it? Absolutely. LIA offers a nicely paced Bubble experience where her slower days are more of a casual pep talk like fighting for today everyone, while her more active days are still easily digestible. And on her more active days are catch-ups, Bella days, and direct reply conversation sessions. Plus, with all this Bubble criteria aside, subscribe to LIA anyway. LIA is just a wonderful human being with only love and passion to give. Next to Bangchan of Stray Kids, Lily of NMIX, and Swan of Craxy, LIA gets the realness stamp of approval for me. If she's nervous about something or feeling hesitant, she'd share that with us, and that's okay. She doesn't pretend to be interested in everything we share with her, nor pretends to know what we're talking about 100% of the time. I don't know what you mean, but hope you have fun. Or, I don't get it, but maybe I'm just getting older now. Bottom line, LIA is such a beautiful person, and I'm not just talking about her visuals. She's this beautiful human being with so much to share and goes at her own pace. And because of that pace, it amplifies her charm into making ITZY cherish every bubble session with her. When we're talking with her, it feels like we're sitting around a campfire with her or around a coffee table and a cup of hot cocoa on a cold evening. Seeing that strawberry LIA notification pop up on my phone it feels like a ray of sunshine after a very cloudy day. LIA, you are so loved. This was long overdue, but welcome back, LIA. I hope that all of the MIDZYs that got into ITZY during the OT4 era can learn more about our beautiful and loving LIA moving forward as OT5 as it should be. Now, before we get to the final results, this is where making the video really took a slowdown. One of the biggest criticisms about the Bubble series is 1 month isn't long enough. So I did 2 months, but some of you still said 2 months isn't long enough. And while I wanted to do this challenge for longer, another reason why I did this challenge for so long and why you're seeing it right now is because I wanted to finally put this argument to rest. While I subscribed to ITZY for more than half a year now, and while I have 5 months worth of data for their bubbles, how the hell am I supposed to showcase it? For most of you, you don't even care about half of these statistics that I report to you. Like, how am I supposed to make an entertaining video from 5 months worth of data? And plus, I'm not really a math person at all. I really suck at math. I don't come from a data science background, but for the integrity of the challenge, I've come to a decision. Instead of taking averages of averages in an effort to making all of this data look pretty, I am going to report all of my findings. Besides, I can't take averages of averages. You know why? Because of LIA. I only have data for LIA's bubbles for 2 months, whereas for the rest of ITZY, 5 months. And when I add ITZY into the grand graph with all of the groups we've covered thus far, it'll be even worse because we'll have 5 skewed points that don't accurately reflect our actual usage numbers. So everyone, please bear with me. I'm going to streamline these final results as much as I can. And wow, ITZY's bubbles rank very healthily in our SYJofficial bubble index. It goes without being said, we'll disregard LIA's 0 score from June to August. In June, Ryujin is 4th place with 31 messages, Chaeryeong is 3rd with 131, Yuna is 2nd with 197, and Yeji is 1st with 402. In July, the placements remain the same, with Ryujin at 4th with 131, Chaeryeong is 3rd with 227, Yuna is 2nd with 246, and Yeji is 1st with 750. In August, Yuna falls to 4th place with 189, Ryujin rises to 3rd with 207, Chaeryeong rises to 2nd with 363, and Yeji still at 1st with 810. At this point, the Born to Be World Tour has officially wrapped up with very healthy numbers in participation. In September, LIA finally rejoins ITZY and the team is finally complete once again and fully prepping for Gold, Imaginary Friend, and MIDZY cells all at the same time. Ryujin falls to 5th place with 178, Yuna 4th with 267, LIA 3rd with 436, Chaeryeong 2nd with 565, and Yeji 1st with 856. And for October, Ryujin is 5th with 223, Yuna 4th at 307, LIA 3rd with 486, Chaeryeong 2nd with 518, and Yeji peaking at 1,348. The grand total doesn't really matter here as there's going to be a score discrepancy as we only have 2 months recorded for LIA and 5 months for OT4 ITZY, but you made it this far, what's a few more seconds, right? For 5 months, nearly half of 2024, Ryujin remains at 5th place with 770, LIA is 4th with 922, Yuna is 3rd with 1,206, Chaeryeong is 2nd with 1,804, and Yeji is 1st place with 4,166 messages. In terms of attendance, out of the 145 days of the challenge, Ryujin is 5th with 79 days, Yuna is 4th with 76, LIA is 3rd with 15, a drastic jump there, and Chaeryeong and Yeji tie for 1st place with only 11 missed days. Saying this now, all 5 ITZY members are safe to subscribe to if you value quality over quantity. You don't have to be a hardcore MIDZY to feel the quality interactions each ITZY member member has on Bubble. But if you are, you'll definitely get your cake and eat it too. For those bang for your buck subscribers, you'll definitely be safe subscribing to Yeji, Chaeryeong, and LIA. Ryujin and Yuna lightly struggle here with their higher absence count. If you want messages every single day and want idols to use the platform, Yeji and Chaeryeong are your best bets. If you want a more chill, lax experience with Bubble, choose Ryujin, Yuna, and LIA. Every other Bubble subscriber, honestly, you're chill and just subscribing to your bias. Chances are, if you stan any member of ITZY, you already have a good idea of their personalities. Having this in hand will enhance your Bubble user experience being subscribed to their bubbles. And now, let's see how ITZY ranks with every single group we previously covered. And wow, saying this outright, this is starting to look very overwhelming, but let's break it down. So we already know that ITZY uses Bubble very healthily, right? This already puts ITZY past nearly all of TWICE's scores, while matching their higher performers like Nayeon and Dahyun. For Yuna, she matches with the likes of Swan from Craxy, baseline producer mode Bangchan, and Ian from Stray Kids, Jiwoo from NMIXX, and Dahyun from TWICE. You heard me right, Yuna's overall average matched almost exactly with Bangchan's total from January 2024 with 241 messages. But again, this is baseline producer mode Bangchan when he's producing bangers and songs about public transportation. All of these idols use Bubble regularly, but not to an overwhelming extent. I know I gave Jiwoo a hard time during the NMIXX Bubble challenge, but that was at the very beginning, the very conception of this Bubble series. Power scaling Jiwoo's score of 260 from back in the day is what a healthy score looks like today. For Chaeryeong, she matches with Wooa and Karin from Craxy, consistent powerhouses in their own right, and Felix from Stray Kids. That's right, everyone, Chaeryeong is on the same playing field as the great quakes of Felix Lee. In fact, Chaeryeong actually surpassed Felix's scores, 518 to 565 versus Felix's 421 and 494. And this was during ITZY's comeback schedule and fan meet season. That means we gotta come up with another nickname to characterize Chaeryeong's Bubble activity to rival Mount Seolyun and the great quakes of Felix Lee now. Let me know your name suggestions in the comment section down below. Ryujin, on the other hand, matches with Jiwoo from NMIXX and Nayeon from TWICE on the higher end of her messages, and Changbin from Stray Kids and Nina from TWICE on the lower end. If you recall, Nayeon is the second most active Bubble user of TWICE with 158 messages total. Ryujin always landed between the mid 100s to low 200 range, and on her best day of 223 messages, she ranks a little lower than NMIXX's Jiwoo at 260. But if Ryujin is really invested in her dramas and doesn't use Bubble that often, she'll land with the likes of Changbin from Stray Kids and Mina from TWICE. Her lowest performance of the challenge was 31 messages in June. As a refresher, Changbin and Mina were the least active members of their respective groups with 22 and 29 respectively. For my ultimate bias Yeji, she hits a fever pitch matching with Felix and unhinged Valentine's Day Bangchan of Stray Kids, Haejin from Craxy, and Haewon, Lily, and Kyujin from NMIXX. All of these users are powerhouses of their respective groups, and Yeji strikes at 402 at her lowest and 1,348 at her highest. That's right, in ITZY's busiest month of October, Yeji surpassed both the great quakes of Felix Lee and Bangchan's unhinged Valentine's Day gaslight train. Call this the flight of the light fury, am I right? In a more average level, Yeji's messages are more in the 800 levels, right with NMIXX's Lily and Haewon. She was still a little lower than Kyujin though, about 100 messages less. Lastly, our beloved strawberry princess Pom Mom LIA. She matches with Wooa and Karin from Craxy, and believe it or not, Felix of Stray Kids. LIA proved herself to be a consistent Bubble user, right along the likes of Craxy's most consistent users, and actually matching the great quakes of Felix Lee. However, LIA matched these numbers with consistency sprinkled throughout the month versus Felix's rumblings after coming back from a long period of inactivity. And lastly, let's add ITZY to the SYJofficial Bubble Hall of Fame. This has got to be the easiest Hall of Fame ranking ever because all 5 ITZY members are in the S-Class category. Now, right away, some of you may be thinking, wait, if Ryujin and Yuna scored lower, how are they in S-Class? Easy. Message quality. Because all of ITZY's bubbles are so close to their IRL personas and the quality time each of them use on their platform for, this significantly increases their placement. Yes, they have the usual idol small talk here and there, but when they get sentimental, all of the hearts are all on the table. You can't replicate that type of love anywhere else. You can't see that level of sentimentality and gratitude with any other group. I never got the sense of, oh, right, Bubble from any of them, but rather, it's finally time I get to talk with ITZY. Call it bias, because, well, they are, but all 5 members of ITZY rank in S-class, together, all together, where they belong. Overall, ITZY's bubbles are absolutely worth it, both from a statistical standpoint and a fan standpoint. All 5 of them interact with ITZY in their own unique way that you really won't get anywhere else. Yeji's hugs, Yuna's endearing paragraphs, Chaeryeong's randomness and scoldings, Ryujin's thirst traps, I mean K-drama recommendations, and LIA's presence. On the good days, and especially the bad days, all 5 of them offer such a comforting bubble experience. Since writing this video, I've had my fair share of terrible days where I just felt demoralized and burnt out and ultimately sad. But that day, I opened up Bubble on my commute and put my headphones in, and guess what song starts playing? Imaginary Friend. I sat there and I read every single message all 5 members left the night before, and I literally cried on public transit. No other group has made me do that before. But time and time again, ITZY proves that having such a loving and healthy relationship with midseas goes such a long way. This relationship is such a beautiful thing to witness, and much more beyond words can express. You really just need to be there to understand it and be part of it to even get a glimpse of an understanding of it. This bond is so strong that their bubbles are saving lives, mine included, just by texting a simple, "You worked hard today." Yes, they say this every day, especially Yeji and Chaeryeong, but it never, ever, ever gets old or stale. With this said, ITZY gets not only the SYJofficial stamp of approval, but the golden honor of Best Bubble. Not just because Yeji's bubble saved my life or ITZY being my alt group, but their undeniable quality interaction, the genuine love and care shared between idol and fandom, and their innate ability to make midseas feel seen and truly appreciated. ITZY said themselves, "Call out my name in the middle of the night. You know I'm your imaginary friend." This line hits hard, knowing that I and many midseas out there consider them as such. Not just as our idols, but our beloved imaginary friends. That even if we may not know each other well, if at all, we can always rely on them and take solace in the great relationship between ITZY and midseas. People point their fingers at us saying, "You lost your way, you changed, you fell off hard, you're not who you used to be." While it hurts at first, we embraced that change and embraced each other all the more. We bet on each other. We do what we want. Not because our hearts are icy inside or because we're loco in the head, but because we just want to be us. We're born to be this way. We're untouchable. We're not shy. We share a love like gold. Midseas, we walk together with ITZY on a blossom path with a crown on our head. We don't run away from the pain and the hate. We don't regret that it happened, because it's what got us here in the first place. It's what made us us. We claim all of it and we say, "It's all mine." ITZY says it's you and I until the end. We're not there yet, but if it's one thing that separates ITZY and midseas from the rest, it's the love that we share. They want it? Come and get it. Because it's all in us. ITZY. Thanks for watching.